Let's start with the first news. Paddy Pimblett has made it clear that he wants either Ilia or Arman as his next opponent, and his comments have added even more fuel to the rivalry. During a recent appearance on Greenlight with Chris Long, Paddy revealed that he would love to fight either Ilia or Arman. While Paddy has had serious beef with Ilia for years, he still admitted that he has respect for him as a fighter. However, when it comes to Arman, Paddy's feelings are completely different. Paddy said that if he fights either Ilia or Arman, he is going to absolutely rinse their lives and terrorize them inside the cage. He explained that he would approach those fights differently because of the history and lack of respect between them. Paddy also pointed out that he would not have the same attitude toward fighters like Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira because he genuinely respects both of them. When discussing Ilia, Paddy admitted that despite their long-running beef, he still respects his abilities. But when Arman came up, Paddy was much more blunt. Paddy claimed that Arman is a rich kid who has benefited from his father's money, arguing that he would not be where he is today without that financial support. He even mocked the lifestyle he believes Arman has grown accustomed to, mentioning expensive caviar and suggesting that it makes it difficult for him to respect Arman. Still, Paddy acknowledged that Arman is a good fighter. The problem, according to Paddy, is that the personal side of their rivalry makes it impossible for him to respect him. With Paddy now openly calling for either Ilia or Arman, both matchups would bring plenty of bad blood and could create massive attention for his next fight. Move on to another news. Arman has suggested that Ilia should fight Michael Chandler next, and considering their ongoing feud, the recommendation is certainly interesting. We still have no official word on who Ilia will face next. Following his loss to Justin Gaethje, there has been plenty of speculation about his next move. His management team recently revealed that they are hoping to have him return before the end of 2026, so fans could see him back in action later this year. Meanwhile, Arman was recently interviewed for the UFC on Paramount Plus YouTube channel and was asked where he believes Ilia currently sits in the lightweight title picture. While answering, Arman suggested that Ilia could fight Michael Chandler next before making another run toward the championship. Arman explained that Ilia is still recovering and said that Chandler could be a suitable opponent for him. He also described it as an easy fight before Ilia eventually returns to the title picture. However, given that Arman and Ilia have been feuding for months, there is a strong possibility that Arman was not being completely sincere with his suggestion. And no disrespect to Chandler, because he was once regarded as one of the best lightweights in the world. But the circumstances surrounding him have changed significantly. Chandler has now lost 4 fights in a row, and at 40 years old, he is in a very different stage of his career. Because of that, the chances of seeing Ilia and Chandler actually face each other appear fairly slim. Still, Arman's comments add another interesting name to the list of potential opponents for Ilia, especially as fans wait for an official announcement about his next fight. Move on to another news. Dana White is facing backlash over recent comments about how much money fighters who entered the UFC through the Contender Series have earned. Following the latest Contender Series event, Dana revealed that fighters who earned UFC contracts through the show have collectively made around $225.3 million since 2017. While that sounds like a huge amount, many people in the MMA community quickly pointed out that the number may not tell the full story. Critics argued that the total includes fighters who went on to become major stars, meaning the average earnings for the majority of Contender Series fighters could be much lower. Luke Thomas pointed out that simply presenting the $225.3 million figure makes it sound more impressive than it actually is. Another MMA writer, Jed Meshew, broke the numbers down further, noting that with hundreds of fighters involved, the average amount per fighter becomes significantly less impressive. Based on those calculations, the average fighter would have earned roughly $535,000 over several years, which works out to around $59,500 per year. And that is before considering taxes, coaches, managers, training camps, travel, and other expenses. MMA On Point also compared the number with the UFC's own profits. The UFC reportedly generated around $280.4 million in adjusted core operating profit in just one quarter, from April through June. Another comparison came from Andy Hickey, who pointed out that Floyd Mayweather reportedly made around $275 million for his 2017 boxing match against Conor. That means one fighter's earnings from a single fight were greater than the combined amount Dana highlighted for hundreds of Contender Series fighters. Other members of the MMA community also criticized the UFC's presentation of the figure, arguing that the money is heavily concentrated among a small percentage of successful fighters. Some pointed out that stars such as Sugar, JDM, Hill, and Berg, along with veterans like Kevin Holland, have fought numerous times and could account for a significant portion of that total themselves. There is no doubt that fighters are earning more money today than they were years ago, and the Contender Series has given countless athletes a pathway into the UFC. But critics believe using the $225.3 million figure as a major achievement without providing more context can create a misleading picture of what the average fighter actually earns. Move on to another news. Sean Brady has made a shocking prediction about Shafkat's fighting future, saying he believes the welterweight contender may never fight again because of his recurring knee problems. Brady recently spoke with Daniel Cormier, and during their conversation, the two discussed the situation surrounding Shafkat and his potential return to competition. While Shafkat has continued training and has been seen hitting pads, Brady believes his knee injuries could prevent him from ever making it back into the octagon. Brady explained that every time Shafkat appears to be preparing for a comeback, his knee problems seem to return. According to Brady, that cycle has become a major concern, especially because getting through an entire fight camp is one of the most demanding parts of being a professional fighter. When Cormier questioned whether Brady really believed Shafkat was finished, Brady doubled down and said, "I think he's done." Brady then explained that Shafkat's knee keeps breaking down whenever he tries to return. In his view, the biggest problem is not simply fighting on the night itself, but surviving the intense training camp required to get there. Brady pointed out that fighters with recurring knee injuries often struggle to maintain consistency because the damage can continue to come back whenever they increase their training intensity. He also admitted that he has never personally dealt with serious knee problems, but said he has seen what happens to fighters who repeatedly suffer those kinds of injuries. According to Brady, it can become an ongoing cycle that is extremely difficult to escape. That is especially concerning for Shafkat, who has already dealt with multiple setbacks surrounding his knee and has struggled to maintain a consistent schedule. Despite the prediction, Shafkat has continued to indicate that he intends to return, and his training footage suggests that he is still working toward getting back into the cage. However, Brady clearly does not believe that will happen, and his comments have raised serious concerns about whether Shafkat can physically make it through another complete fight camp. For now, Shafkat's future remains uncertain, but if Brady's prediction turns out to be correct, it could mark a devastating end to the career of one of the most dangerous fighters in the welterweight division. Move on to another news. A huge altercation allegedly involving Khamzat's team and Namo Fazil has now become part of the story surrounding Fazil's brutal loss on the latest Dana White Contender Series card. Fazil faced Kike Brito and was knocked out by a massive right hand in the third round. But after the fight, Fazil claimed that an incident at his hotel while he was cutting weight played a major role in his performance. Following the KO, Khamzat, Bisping, and Mozarov reportedly celebrated Fazil's loss on social media. Fazil later released a lengthy statement on Instagram explaining what he says happened before the fight. According to translations shared by ACD MMA, Fazil claimed that a group of around 15 Chechen fighters came to his hotel room while he was in the middle of an intense weight cut. Fazil explained that he had already lost more than 10 kilograms and only had around 3 or 4 kilograms remaining before reaching his target. He said he was physically exhausted and wrapped in blankets when someone knocked on his door. According to Fazil, his coaches opened the door and the group confronted them. He claimed that one of the men suddenly slapped him, then slapped him again. Fazil said his coaches immediately stepped in and held him back because he still had a fight scheduled. He claims he told the group to let him compete first and settle the situation afterward. However, according to Fazil, the confrontation escalated into a scuffle. He claimed the other group eventually ran away after his coaches intervened, while police arrived and there was shouting and commotion throughout the hotel lobby. Despite everything that allegedly happened, Fazil said he still went through with the fight, but he admitted that he was not the same fighter fans were used to seeing and suggested the incident affected his performance. There is also some background that could add context to the situation. Khamzat and several other fighters mentioned in the story are from Chechnya. Fazil previously fought and defeated a Chechen fighter named Jakobsmanov last year, and according to ACD MMA, he had allegedly made negative comments about Chechnya leading up to that matchup. That history has led to plenty of speculation about whether the incidents were connected. Dana White was reportedly asked about the altercation after the event, but he said he did not know who was involved. For now, Fazil's claims remain the center of the controversy, and this story could develop further as more details emerge. Move on to another news. Several new UFC fights have reportedly been revealed, with fresh matchups scheduled across upcoming events in Shanghai, Las Vegas, and Paris. First up, Newsy is set to make his UFC Octagon debut against Xiaolong at the UFC's August 29th card in Shanghai, China. Newsy has not competed since last October, when he picked up a stoppage victory over Lucas Rodriguez while fighting for Cage Warriors. His opponent, Xiaolong, will be looking to bounce back after suffering consecutive losses to Cody Garbrandt and Su Yongyu. He currently holds a 1-3 record in his official UFC appearances, making this an important opportunity to turn things around. Also on the Shanghai card, AG Fight is reporting that bantamweights Lawrence Louis and Hector Santiago will face each other. Louis has not fought since January, when he earned a split decision victory over Sulong Rambo. That win extended his current winning streak to 5 fights. Meanwhile, Hector Santiago is making his way to the UFC after putting together an impressive 6-1 professional MMA record. In his most recent appearance back in May, Santiago stopped Paulo Nogueira and now gets the chance to make his UFC debut against Louis. Moving on to another upcoming event, MMA Junkie recently reported that strawweights Lupita Godinez and Ketan Souza will meet at the UFC's October 10th Fight Night card in Las Vegas. Godinez will be looking to get back on track after suffering a submission loss to Tatiana Suarez in April. She has gone 2-3 across her last 5 fights, so another victory would be extremely important for her momentum. Souza, meanwhile, enters the matchup with 2 consecutive wins. She has picked up victories over Ariana Carnelosi and Bruna Brazil, and currently sits at 3-2 across her last 5 outings. Finally, Marcel Dorff reported another interesting matchup for the UFC's September 5th event in Paris, France. Former tough competitor Deline Benuash is expected to make her UFC Octagon debut against Sofia Montenegro. Benuash last competed in December when she submitted Lindsay Payne while fighting for Aries FC. She has won 4 of her last 5 official bouts and will now look to carry that momentum into the UFC. Montenegro will also be making her UFC debut. She previously competed on the Contender Series, where she suffered a split decision loss to Yaza Chavez. That defeat snapped her 4-fight winning streak. With several new matchups now reportedly lined up, these upcoming UFC cards are quickly taking shape. Move on to another news. Paddy Pimblett has once again gone off on Arman, making it clear that their rivalry is much more personal than simply wanting to fight each other inside the octagon. Paddy admitted that he considers Arman a talented fighter, but said he has absolutely no respect for him. According to Paddy, the reason goes beyond their fighting careers and is connected to what he believes is Arman's privileged background. Paddy said that if he fights either Ilia or Arman, he plans to absolutely rinse their lives and terrorize them. He explained that his approach would be completely different against fighters he genuinely respects, such as Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira. When discussing Ilia, Paddy admitted that despite their years of beef, he still has respect for him as a fighter. But when the conversation turned to Arman, Paddy's tone changed immediately. Paddy called Arman a rich kid, and claimed that his father's wealth played a major role in getting him where he is today. He questioned how he could respect someone when he believes that person has benefited so heavily from family money. Paddy even mocked Arman's lifestyle, claiming that he is sitting around eating extremely expensive caviar for breakfast. He used that example to emphasize why he believes Arman has lived a very different life from other fighters. At the same time, Paddy acknowledged that Arman is a good fighter and clearly recognizes his abilities inside the cage. However, Paddy believes the personal issues between them make it impossible for him to have the same level of respect that he has for fighters like Max and Charles. With Paddy openly talking about wanting to fight Arman and promising to make the matchup extremely personal, the rivalry between the two continues to build, even before they officially share the Octagon.